Hello and welcome to What's Next. I'm your host Matt Brading and this week it's Music Week. Later on in this show I'm going to be talking to three of the girls from Stafford Operatic's version of Hot Mikado. But first, here are Josh and Rob with our review section.
Hi, I'm Josh, here to update you on all the new music for this year. One Direction have just released their new album, Take Me Home. It was released on the 12th of November, but before that, iTunes gave you the option to stream the whole album. This gives you the option to listen to the music as many times as you want before it's released. This gives the audience a chance to decide whether they want to buy it or not.
We are now going to do the news. Hello guys, you know how it works, we have a table of topics. I'm going to pick from the table. Right, okay, Zoe. Your turn. I think that's the last one. You ready? Oh, so close.
Okay, this is interesting. Okay, so there's been a 4-year study by paediatrics, and it showed that what adolescents listen to determines how they're going to behave when they're older. So they found out that if they listen to hip-hop, heavy metal and dance music, they are more likely to show more violent behaviour compared to those who listen to classical, pop and jazz. Rubbish.
Yeah.
Oh, stupid.
That's just basically saying everyone is like
violent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In their own way. But
Yeah.
doesn't that just make you human?
Yeah, and they could come down to the fact like who they are determines what kind of music they listen to rather than the other way around. It's unlikely someone who's very violent is going to enjoy Beethoven, you know.
Because they somehow said that the people that weren't violent, the only things that were okay to listen to was pop, classical music and jazz.
Yeah.
I mean, does anyone really listen to jazz?
Well, think about it. Before like sort of music got violent and controversial, people were violent. Maybe not as much.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's had an effect.
They're violent and listen to jazz, so,
Whoa.
so who knows. Anyway, okay, there you go. These sort of things come out all the time. And they always...
Yeah, like video games and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, right, I think that's enough for the news this week.
Yep.
Thanks for joining me. We are now going to have our tech review.
For all you music students or sound students out there who are in love with downloading apps from the iTunes Store, listen up. Who here has heard of the Raven MTX? Anyone? No? Okay then. It's a state-of-the-art touch-screen display sound mixer which has many outputs and even lets you plug in your own smartphone.
But for those of you who don't work at Warner Brothers, might I let you in on a little secret? The new Auria DAW app for the iPad has been released. This app allows the user to mix a full 48-track song using just their iPad. It can handle up to 48 tracks of stereo or mono files and record up to 24 tracks at once, if you have the correct interface, that is. The app also has its own plugin store which can allow the user to add more things to this app to help their work. This app also helps freeze your CPU usage, which is something that Pro Tools doesn't even have. It's similar to the Raven and only costs $50.
That's all for now. See you later. We're off for an exclusive interview with the girls from Hot Mikado.
Okay, so I'm now joined in the studio by Sarah, Holly and Siobhan from Stafford Operatics, currently dressed up in your costumes from Hot Mikado, looking very colourful. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what Stafford Operatics is?
Stafford Operatics is an amateur dramatics group, obviously, that's based in Stafford. It's been running since the 1920s, so a very long time. Obviously, it's sort of progressed throughout the ages, and now in 2012, we perform 2 shows a year at the Gatehouse Theatre in Stafford. We have a lovely show selection committee who sort of pick what shows. We try and be quite current, so they get together and try and pick sort of a couple of years ahead. But yeah, we like to think we're almost professional to the point where we're not getting paid, but we're at the level of, you know, that professionals are, really.
So you've finished Hot Mikado now, so what are Stafford Operatics working on?
Well, our next show is going to be Me and My Girl,
Okay.
which will be performed in April next year. So we're just getting ready for the auditions for those parts, which will be on the 2nd of December.
Okay, that's cool. I happen to know our studio director as well is one of your members
Yeah.
who joined last year. So that's kind of how this all happened. But,
Yeah.
So a bit later, you're going to be performing Three Little Maids for us, which I'm looking forward to. But before that, we have a video of our recent visit to Red Bull Music Studios in London.
So thanks very much for coming in. What's your name and what do you do for Red Bull?
My name's Brendan Harding. I'm the studio manager here at Red Bull Studios London. I'm also head engineer, so I look after all the day-to-day technical aspects of the studio. So I engineer the sessions, look after all the equipment, make sure that everything's in the right place. We have the main studio up here, and then we also have a rehearsal room downstairs, and an artist in residence production room as well. So sometimes we need to juggle equipment between all 3 of those. We also do events outside, so I kind of organise engineers to come in and look after that as well.
Ba-ba-da-be-do, ba-ba-da-be-do. 3 little maids from school. 3 little maids from school. 3 little maids who are nowhere, come from a ladies' seminary. Hurry from his genius to the library. Who'd you know in Nagasaki? 3 little maids from school. 3 little maids from school. 3 little maids, 3 little maids. 3 little maids, 3 little maids. 1 little maid is a bright young gun. 2 little maids in a tennis gown. 3 little maids is the total sum. 3 little maids.